We all love Thanksgiving. To see that turkey on the table for you and your family to enjoy, isn't that special? Brings back good memories, doesn't it? But have you ever thought of where that turkey came from? No? I know it's all about hand me the knife and let's start carving that bird. But where did that turkey come from? Yes, I know the store in a big frozen bin with all the other turkeys, but how was it raised? In a tight coop with no room to move? Injected with antibiotics, growth hormones? And what did it eat? Fed to just get it plump quickly in time for Thanksgiving? And was that feed organic, free of pesticides, and not genetically modified? Why is this important? Because before you put that succulent turkey in your mouth, there are a few things you need to know, especially when it comes to healthy alternatives. So let's join Jim McManus of the Walking J Farm now so you can learn a thing or two about your turkey.
The Walking J Farm is a polyculture farm, which is sort of the antithesis of a monoculture farm, which is the standard for current industrial agriculture. So instead of one crop, we grow many crops. And when I say crop, it also incorporates animals for meat. So we grow grass-fed beef, we raise pasture-raised pigs, we have in the past raised broiler chickens, heritage turkeys, laying hens, as well as organically produced vegetables. We're not certified organic, but we use practices that emulate what we believe to be organic, which is no synthetic fertilizers, no pesticides or herbicides, and we recognize and fulfill the nature of the animals that we raise. So there's no confinement. If a cow, to me, is a forager, is a ruminant grazer, it needs to be out on pasture, not in a corral, not being fed monoculture grains. Likewise with turkeys or chickens. The turkeys that we grow are all heritage breed turkeys, and what heritage means is that they are some of the traditional breeds of animals that have existed for hundreds of years. So the turkey comes from North America as a wild animal, was domesticated by the early Spaniards, and then spread through Europe, came back to the US, and we have had hundreds of breeds. Today, the turkey that you get in the store is one breed called the broad-breasted white, which is a relatively new breed that has been bred selectively for very large breasts, very rapid growth. They grow them in large barns that shelter them from the outside, and they grow to the 20-pound turkey you get in the store in 4 months. So they have a lot of problems carrying that weight. Their bone structure, their skeletal structure doesn't keep up with their mass. So a lot of times they really don't walk much at all by the time they reach butcher weight. And they're in a confined environment that's full of pathogens, fecal dust. So the chance for sickness is a lot higher when you have these another monoculture. You have a monoculture of turkeys that is overpopulated beyond any scope of what we would see in the natural world. So pathogen buildup becomes a real problem. You feed them antibiotics to get around that. The rations that are fed there, which are the sole food consumed by those animals because they live in these big barns, are mixed with a full run of antibiotics that some of them are ailment specific. Many of them are added in and classified as appetite stimulants. The ideology is that we know the environment is so toxic that these turkeys are going to be wasting good metabolic energy fighting off pathogens when they could be converting it into giant turkey breasts. So I don't know specifically the names of all the antibiotics, but almost every turkey barn out there, conventional turkey barn, will have antibiotics in their food. If you get a store-bought USDA organic turkey, the use of antibiotics is prohibited in organic production, but does not mean that they're raised on pasture or in any way able to express their turkeyness, or that they are of a breed of bird that has more vitality that these heritage breed turkeys do. The turkeys that we raise, instead of reaching butcher weight in 4 months, they'll reach butcher weight in 7 to 9 months. They live outside. They're able to express themselves as turkeys. That means running around and foraging, chasing grasshoppers, caterpillars, lizards, strutting their stuff and showing their feathers when they're mature. We also keep hens that set on eggs and hatch out the turkey poults themselves. The criteria to be actually a heritage breed turkey is that they have to be able to conceive through natural means. That means no artificial insemination, which all of your broad-breasted white turkeys that are raised in the turkey barns are all artificially inseminated because they're too big and clumsy and awkward to copulate anymore. We do not vaccinate our turkeys, which is also a typical industrial model, is to vaccinate all of your turkeys and chickens as soon as they hatch against certain diseases. We, through the brooder in the brooder yard, give them access to the full run of pathogens that they're going to be exposed to in their life. We would rather have a chicken build strong immunities, or a turkey, excuse me, build strong immunities immediately, rather than give it the shelter of a vaccine that it has a chance of later breaking down and causing greater ailments or more sickness in the chickens. So we have a turkey, a heritage turkey, that does not reach the 20-pound weight of your store-bought turkey, but it has a lot richer flavor to it. It does not have any antibiotics in it. The heritage turkey also has a lot more meat on its legs versus its breast. It's still an animal that needs to be able to travel all day, to keep moving, to forage for plants and bugs and animals. So it's not efficient for it to put too much weight into its breast. You still get a good portion of breast off of a heritage turkey, but not like these giant butter balls that you get in the grocery store. But again, the flavor and the color of the meat, because of the pasture, especially when turkeys are eating alfalfa and grass, there's a lot of vitamins and minerals there that are absent in a straight grain diet in a barn, as well as the absence of sunlight in these barns. So you have a lot more antioxidants and vitamins and minerals that are incorporated in the metabolism of that turkey, that in the end gives you a very succulent and healthy product. If you buy an organic turkey in the store, it really doesn't ensure any of the lifestyle of the turkey. All it ensures is that it is free of antibiotics and that the grains it was fed are certified USDA organic. You don't know how those animals are being treated. You don't know what they're getting. When you start exporting things across state lines and coast to coast, and the lack of oversight turns it into a product that you really have no control over. You can have a lot more confidence talking to a farmer that invites you to come and see the farm and his animals than a grocery store that packages it and puts it behind a label that gives you all of the confidence of whatever the label says. I probably had at least 80% of my customers last year made a point to send us an email or stop by the market and say that was the best turkey I ever had. And again, it's in the nuances of the flavor, as well as the satisfaction and the security that you have when you sit down to eat a turkey that you know was raised right. We have a huge spur in chronic heart disease, diabetes, all of these ailments that we hear about all the time that are directly food related. And they're food related because they're coming from an industrial food system that is more about profits for the corporations than about health for the consumers. So it's up to the consumers to understand where their foods are coming from, what those foods are, and what the health benefits or downsides are going to be. So if you are eating locally produced, organic or certified naturally grown foods that are in their whole form, you are almost guaranteed to have a better environmental profile and likely a better nutritional profile. And you'll also have a better peace of mind in knowing that you've made those choices.